All right. So this one, we're going to talk more about the content tool. So once again, we kind of talked about the modules and submodules already, so that part was helpful. But if you have students that are using the app, or if you are planning on using the app, however these things look in this course content at a glance section is what the students will see when they access your course on the app. So you can kind of think of this as your app promo. So if you're like, I wanted this to show, but it's not showing, and you want them to be able to access it on a mobile device, you'll have to make sure to add it to the content area.
Okay.
Okay, we need your screen.
Oh, it's all the time.
We both did it. It's fine.
Yeah. Yes. There.
Perfect.
A thing. It's here. So yes, just this is the essentially app preview screen. So on the app, things are a bit more streamlined. They don't have this course faculty area. The announcements are on a separate page. The calendar works differently, but so this is the way that they will access content through the app. And maybe, I think we'll have time. I think I might have overestimated here. So we will have time to, we can show the app at this point, now that we've talked about it several times. That being said, I'm going to go ahead to the content area so we can edit some more and kind of show you my favorite content creation tool in here. So we'll start out with the basics because they'll go by quick. But the first one is upload files. So upload files, right? You can upload from your computer. Shared files are files from the university level. So most of those you won't be in here. Eventually, I hope to put kind of like my plan, we'll see if Riley has time to do it or not, would be to kind of put all of the basics from the course syllabus into a file here. So that way you can just add it to your course and then have like a separate area with your actual course related items to kind of streamline the syllabus. But that's a different discussion. You can also do video or audio files if you have them on your computer. So you can enter a URL, embed, or upload, depending. There is a large file size here. I don't think that's been too much of a problem in your department, David, but for like architecture and stuff with their CAD files, that's helpful to have here. So when you do this, let me just add some nonsense. Upload. So you can upload any file from your computer. It'll show it here. You don't have to worry about this destination area. It just shows where it's saving it in the system. And anytime you add anything, so like I added this to this module itself, it'll put it at the bottom of the module. Now, if I didn't mean to add it to the module itself and I wanted it to be in week 1, once again, you can just kind of click and drag and get that blue highlight and put it down. If you use the upload create button in a submodule, it'll do it right in the submodule and you don't have to do that click and drag, but it always adds to the bottom. Just as an ease of use item, there's also expand all, collapse all buttons. So if you wanted to have them small so you could just like jump to week 3 and work on that one with everything else closed, those are there for you as well. We have create a link. So there you would website, so you can title it, and then there is the URL that you could type in or copy and paste it. Now, one of the things here is open as an external resource. So an external resource means that it will open in a separate page. Oh,
okay. Oh, okay.
Has to have the HTTP. All right. So if I hit create, it'll take me to it so I can see it here, and it'll come up with this link, open in a new window. So it'll open it in a new window there. Now, one of the things is that, so like you'll be able to know that the student came to this page. You won't actually know if they like accessed the link or not. So another option that you could do when you add a link, oh, and I added it to the whole thing. Let's put it in week 2. So now I'm going to do one with that external link option unchecked. So hold on, let me grab a fun link. All right, so this is the link to a Google Sheet. And I'm going to uncheck the open as an external resource item. So it does give you this warning because not every website nicely displays in the Brightspace system. So it does give you a warning and you do want to check it. But I'm going to head and click create.
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah, so
Oh no.
Google accounts. Oh, this was like my favorite one, and it doesn't do it. See if it works this time. No. So it doesn't work this way, so it wouldn't be one to do it with. It did used to work. Riley, I'm so sad.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not working. You used it in several courses.
I know. So if it doesn't work, you can click edit link and then check that box again. So depending on what it is, I've had it work in CAS classes. Now it just doesn't like me.
It's just
It's like, yes, it's like, we don't want this link.
Yeah.
But, so it'll link to it. It'll come up just on that separate tab.
Okay.
So. All right. One of the other things. All right. So we did our links, did our image. So if we go back to our course homepage now, there'll actually be things in here. So not in syllabus, but in weeks 1 to 5. And one of the nice things is that you see how these circles are here. Because I clicked on the link that I made, it's checked off that I checked it. So not that as an instructor you need to go through and check all of your things or visit them, but for the students, it'll give them this percentage ring. So based on what you have in there, it'll mark off if they've looked at everything in that module or not. So it's kind of a nice quick glance for them to be like, oh, 0%, I should really head into week 4 and see what I missed. As you create things in content, everything will default to this checkbox, meaning that it's required. If there's something that you don't want to require, you can click on the checkbox and it will give you some other options. So required manual, right, means that the student will have to check it off themselves. And then not required will take it out of that circle altogether. So depending on what you're looking for with your resources, you may need to adjust that. But to help ensure that the students are looking at everything that you're actually giving them, because we all know that we like that motivation of filling up the circles. At least I do. You'll go ahead and have those items. So like in here, you can see on the module, you have this overall picture based on what's completed. And then when you click in, you get a more specific picture for those sub-modules. Are there any questions on the content completion settings?
Nope. It's helpful, thanks.
Great. All right. And next step, let's do. So you do have the option to add from managed files. So if you added a file to your course, so like we have this Chrome picture that I added. If I decided that I don't want this in week 1 and I deleted that topic, And I just choose this first option, remove it from the course. It's not permanently deleted, but remove from the course. And I'm like, oh, wait, I didn't want to do that. If I go to add from manage files, because I already uploaded it to the course once, it's still there.
Okay.
So anything that you upload to your course will be in your course files. So if you delete something because you're like, I don't need it this semester, but next semester you want to add it, if you copy that course over, that file will still be there. We also have an add object from LOR. So the LOR is that learning object repository. So like as the library specifically, because I know they have stuff, as the library posts resources, you can kind of see what's there. So I just searched for a library. So I could say,
Good.
Maybe I want this physician assistant research guide that the library shared, so I can add that to my course, and then it'll give you options. So here's that dynamic link that always points to the newest. You can choose a locked link that only goes to this version, or you can actually add it as content to your course. So there's lots of different ways that you can choose it. I'm going to keep it as content this time and hit next. So you can see just kind of overviews. This is what you're adding. And now copying it into my course. Once again, I did it from the module. Oh no, I did it from week 1. So it went in here at the bottom and it's a link to it. So as the LOR gets more stuff in it, it will be helpful and have lots of fun things. The last one that's in here is create a file. So if you used a page in Moodle, or if you used labels in Moodle, you might want to go with the create a file option. Did I actually click on it, or did it? Oh, I did. It was just slow. So create a file is a way for you to organize content. So if you have several things that you want to talk about on topic 1, you can actually come in here, you can type some text to them about it, then you can go down and you can use the insert stuff button to add a YouTube video. Then you could come down and you could type some more stuff, or like highlight some things about the questions. Then maybe you want to add your own reflection to it. So you could add a video note, say things about it, and insert it. And so it's a nice way to kind of organize the content. So that way your page isn't super long, like rather than putting the YouTube video separate and then having a separate page with this and a separate page with that. These creative files let you kind of add whatever you like in kind of a streamlined format. Now, so like that's just, I think it's just cool in general, but there is also the select a document template. So these make your pages look fancy without you having to do lots of work. So if you click on it, you'll see that we have lots of templates already in here. So one of my favorite ones that's really good at chunking content is an accordion. Now the thing is, when you add a template, you'll want to add templates first, because they will delete everything that's on the page. So you'll want to pick your template first and then work on it.
Okay.
So the accordions, this is how they look to start. But when they're actually functioning, I go to content here somewhere. Is it on here? Oh no, because this is the welcome. I always pick one that doesn't have accordions, and I used accordions throughout this course. Let's see. Maybe it's here. All right, so these are accordions. So they're a great way to chunk your content so they can kind of focus on one thing at a time, or if you want to highlight things without making your page super long. So on here, or not our Merriwood page, on our create a file page, you can choose how many accordions you need. So they're already built in. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, whichever, however many you need. And whichever ones you don't need, you could just delete. So you could be like, well, I don't need 6 accordions, so I'm going to delete that chunk. Maybe I only need 2 accordions. So I'm going to go ahead and delete all these extra groups, leave the 2, and then delete the single. So this way I can just go to here and I can say, like, here's my title. Accordions, I can't type, are fun. And then you'll see here it kind of lines up. So it says accordion 1 of 2, and then the matching content. Accordion 2 of 2, and then the matching content. So I could say accordions. Yeah, content, and then you can do whichever one you want for the other one. If you want to see them in action, you can just save your page, and it'll take you to the page as you have it written. And you can delete this text. So like if you look at it and you're like, oh, I did it right, but I want to make some more changes, you'll click your edit HTML.
Okay.
And you can go back in and say, all right, let me remember to delete all the stuff that I don't need. Now, one of the things here, since I'm making an update, is you'll see I have this button, notify students that the content has changed. So whenever you publish content, the students will get a notification. So like if it's midway through the week and you're like, you're in class and you're like, I'm going to make a resource for you guys to look at. This way they don't have to come check the page every so often to like see if you published it, because they'll get a notification that says you added the content. Now, if you did something and you're like, oh, I made it this first time, but maybe I changed it, you can actually check this button and the students will get another notification. And you can say, add a summary of the changes. So you can say, I added a new section, more typing, check it out. And then another cool feature is reset completion tracking. So if you made a major change, you can check it and say, they need to come look at this again. Or maybe it's just a minor change and you don't need to reset completion tracking. So those are all options that you have, or like maybe it was just a typo that you fixed, so you don't need to notify them at all. So, but that's there as well. One of the other types of items that are here are tabs. So the tabs work the same way. They're just another way to chunk content. But that's also a document template item. So you can go through and pick them all. As long as you're in edit mode, like I pieced together, like I copy and paste, that's how I got them on the same page. Like, so I had 2 tabs open and I did the accordions and then I opened a new page and got the tabs. But so there are lots of things in this creative file. Some of the other interesting ones, you could put them in your syllabus module actually, is that there is a larger instructor introduction. So if you wanted to give more information about yourself, clarify office hours. So it's already kind of set up with these nice little icons. If you're having online office hours, those are all there. Another nice template is the course introduction. It's just like a simple overview page. Where's the one? The module introduction will come up and let you put learning objectives with these nice big numbers. So it just looks nice. There's also a course schedule and course materials pages as well. So like the course schedule, usually at the end of the syllabus, you can lay it out in here. The course materials page will come up with like these little books. So just things that are easy to make it look nice. But, and they're, like I said, they're a good way because your content is already chunked in so many ways to help the students as they're navigating online. Any questions on that?
Nope, that helps.
All right. Content items. Let's see. So if you're on the table of contents page, you'll see this number. This is how many things you've put in your course. So that'll be a total of all of your content. If you bring over assignments and discussions, all of those items will be here in the table of contents page, like with that number. So you can see in weeks 1 to 5, there's a total of 5 things. And actually, as the students go through and complete them, this number will go down.
Oh, okay, good.
So it'll show them like how many things they have left to do in that area. This table of contents page is most similar to our Moodle page because it's everything all on one page. So it'll be all of the modules listed. So like if I added another module for week 6 to 10 and go back to my table of contents page, it's all here. So if you wanted all of your modules and to see them just like you're familiar with on Moodle, you'll want to be on the table of contents page. Another nice thing here is the bulk edit feature. So if you click on bulk edit, it lets you edit topic titles, descriptions, and restrictions for everything in your course all at once. So you'll see for the modules, there are dates and restrictions. If you're one of the people who don't want your students to see things in your course before the actual course start date instead of that week, you can use those as well. So I like my syllabus to be visible as early as it can be, but like weeks 1 to 5, maybe I'm not going to be ready to have that shown until the start of class. So weeks 1 to 5 is not going to be visible until that first day of class, not September. So that way the students won't see it until that date. If you do edit anything here, you'll want to make sure to click the update button because otherwise it won't save it. But if I hit update, it now has this note, starts August 23rd, and that's also here in the sidebar. So that's a nice feature. Over here is the eye icon. So once again, you can hide an entire module and it'll note as hidden here. You can also just hide submodules if you wanted to. And if we were to open, I don't think we can open a submodule up in this bulk edit mode, but you could also just hide items in the module or submodule if you wanted to hide something specific. I'll also say here, you'll notice there's a start date, a due date, and an end date. So the due dates are great because you could say, you know, everything in weeks 1 to 5 should be done on this date. So now that due date, it doesn't change the visibility, but it's nice because the students will get a notification that they have things that are overdue. So if there's something in this module that they didn't complete, it'll say overdue for them. And you can see we have the start date, the due dates listed here as well. End dates are in terms of visibility. So just like the start date is when it becomes visible, the end date would make it invisible. So I don't recommend using the end dates because most people don't want to hide their stuff from their students after it's done. But yes, another benefit of using the due dates here is that they'll show up on the course schedule. So there's an upcoming tab here. And you don't put anything on this page. This will automatically populate based on the due dates that you put on your materials. So it automatically populates. It gives the students a nice overview of the week. If you look at the full schedule, it will show all of the due dates for everything. So since I marked this module as due at October 2nd, it includes all of the submodules as well. But they can click on it. And if we were to make it past this October 2nd date and they haven't looked at something yet, there will be a new red tab that comes up that says overdue. And if they could click on that, and then it would show them the items that they have overdue.
Okay.
Another feature that we have in the content area is bookmarks. Now the bookmarks are your personal bookmarks. So if you bookmark something, it doesn't bookmark for the students. If the students bookmark something, you don't know about it. It's more just personal use if there's something that you go to a lot. So maybe you reference this physician's assistant research guide a lot. And you're like, I want, oh, that was my link. Right. So maybe you reference this a lot. so you can bookmark it. So it's just a little tab up here that you can click or unclick. But if it is bookmarked, it'll show up on this bookmarks tab and you can see it. So if there's a couple things that you go to a lot throughout your course, you can bookmark them for quick access rather than finding where they are and clicking through that way.
Okay.
Right. Another way that you can navigate your content, if we were to go and click on one, like once you're in a piece of content, you don't have to come back out of it to go to the next thing. You have these left, right arrows. So if you click next, it'll take you to the next item. There was our link again. But you can just keep clicking those to go through the different items in your course. So I had another link. And after you change modules, it will take you to the main module page.